Greetings, heathens and heretics, and welcome to In the Abyss. Myself, as always, and as you keep telling me, former drummer.
Well,
Oh,
I dabble. I dabble. Can
oh,
we put it that way?
is that what they call it now? Dabbling? Is that it?
Yeah, it's like a paradabble.
All right,
Yeah, you don't do fills anymore. You just dabble, right?
just
Yeah, that's
dabble.
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. So,
I mean, to be
yeah,
fair, that's what it always sounded
Did you
like.
hear that dabble that you did at the end of that song? My God.
you may notice we have a guest, Mr. Joe Hoare from the mighty Orange Goblin.
Hello.
30 years down, just about now. So we've been wanting to do this for a while. As soon as you guys announced that you were hanging up your boots, so to speak. We had to get you on, talk about it. You're a band that we go back with many, many years, all the way back to the late 90s. So, it made sense to us to get you on and just hear a little bit about the history and
Sure.
the upcoming tour and all that kind of thing. So, I suppose
The whole story. Give us the story. This is a bit of a retrospective, I think.
it's a bit of that, isn't it? But first and foremost, how are you doing? And thank you for joining us.
How's Harry doing? Harry's doing fantastic. Is that what you said?
So, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm.
But we
Harry's
do want
right.
it.
I'm doing. Harry's doing great as well, but I'm doing fantastic. I'm really well. It's a bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a weird year, this, because
Right.
this is all we've done for 30 years, really.
Yeah.
We've had jobs, we've had families, we've had kids, dogs,
Mm.
cats, everything else in between. But Orange Goblin has been the thing that's just since we were teenagers, really. We, especially, we this is all we've really known. So to have it come to a sudden, abrupt end in December is kind of weird. Yeah, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
We've planned it, and it's something that we've all decided is the right thing to do. But yeah, as it's approaching, I'm kind of going, oh my God, it's
Right.
it's, it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, apart from that, I'm doing great.
I think as like, as fans of the band and just, Orange Goblin have always just been there right in the scene. So I think it was as much of a
Yeah.
shock to us
Yeah, it was.
to hear the announcement come out as it was, I'm sure, well, as you've just said to you guys. Just on, I mean, seeing as you mentioned it, we may as well start with that. It's like, who broached the subject? How did it come up, and what was the initial reaction?
I, you know what? I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Ben or someone else. The thing that started. It's just in between the shows. It's the traveling, and taking time. We all live miles away. Ben lives in France now. I live in London.
Right.
Chris lives in Brighton, Harry lives in Hampshire. It's a weird logistical thing where we all have our normal day-to-day jobs and lives, and getting together and doing shows and booking. It's a weird one. If you haven't been in a band for this long and had to do the traveling in between, it's quite kind of hard to explain. So I'm sure lots of people go, really, is that it? But it's just the in between bits of
Right.
getting to do a show, getting up at 4 in the morning on a Saturday morning to play at 1 o'clock the next night, which is always great. The shows are fantastic. We love everything about it. But I think after 30 years, I can't remember who actually said, hey, let's call it a day. I think it was almost somebody had said it and we said, yeah, let's do it. And then it came up again from someone else. And we thought 10 albums in, 30 years in, we've had a bloody good run, I think. This could be a good time to kind of call it a day or a hiatus, you might say. I don't know. But at the moment, there's no
Okay.
plans to do anything else.
Right.
So
But no
yeah, I
one's, no
don't know. It just
one's.
feels right. It feels right.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And like it is a kind of never say never situation, right?
Sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I don't think. I mean, I guess we probably have said it's the end of Orange Goblin. At the moment, it is. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. We haven't got any secret plans. Like, hey, let's trick them. But honestly, that at the moment,
Right.
there's no plans to do anything. But yeah, like you say, never say never.
Yeah, of
I
course.
get the thing about the touring and everything like that. I mean, we're all of us here are of a similar age.
Sure.
Um, I can't think of anything worse really than that sort of dragging yourself around Europe. And that as you get older, I mean, fuck me, I find it hard enough to get up in the morning.
All right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, to us, it all looks like the best school holiday ever when you're going on tour, but
Yeah.
common sense tells you different.
Yeah. I mean, and also the flip side of that is once you get there, it is fun. I'm with my mates.
Yeah.
Ben doesn't drink anymore, but me and Harry and Chris, we don't drink much, but we still like to have a bit of a drink. So we all, so the other side of that, once you've done all that rubbish bit, getting there and you're at a place and people are there to see you, and it's like, wow, they're actually people have bought tickets to see our bands. Then it's fun because you're with your mates and you're hanging out with your friends and you get to play your songs to people that have paid to come and see you, which is incredible. After 30 years, we're like flabbergasted that people still enjoy the shows and enjoy the bands. So it is nice being away, and we do love going to all these countries, and we don't take it for granted that we get to and we have got to do all this stuff. It's just I think it's a lot of things, but it's just getting old and thinking, let's try something else. Getting up at 4 a.m. is hard when you're 50. Yeah.
I can imagine.
And sitting on an EasyJet flight is even harder when you're 50.
Oh, that's hard. I mean, that's hard at the best of times. All walks of life struggle with that, I think. But it seems like an apt sort of point to us to then, to go back to the early days then and see how it compares. Right back, 95? I think that's where the story began.
Yeah. Well, probably a little bit. Probably 94. We started jamming because me, Ben, and Martin were good friends. Ben and Martin went back even further. They were friends. They were footballers. They were kind of youth team football players. That's how they met. Had a mutual love for metal and Slayer, and then met me. And and I love all that. Obviously, love all that stuff as well. So yeah, we started probably about 94. We started jamming and kind of just trying stuff out. But yeah, 95 is when it all pretty much kicks off, and we started writing a lot of songs and flying outside clubs, because in those days there was no internet, so you went outside every club you could find, every gig, and you had flyers, come and see us at this pub down the road. There'd be like 10 people turning up to see you. And then got noticed by Lee Dorian, and we kind of took off by that from there.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask about that, how that kind of relationship with Rise Above came about. So presumably he's just at a show, saw you guys playing.
We were huge Cathedral fans, from the get-go. As soon as we got into the doom part of metal and got into that scene, so we'd go to a lot of Cathedral shows. And to be honest, we probably just drove him mad. We were always there. These annoying guys like, come and see our band. At the time we were called Our Haunted Kingdom, and I think, I mean, he might disagree, but I'm sure that out of pure, it's like, I'll come and see your damn band. It might have been that sort of thing, but anyway, or word spread, whatever it was. But yeah, he turned up to see us, and I can't remember what gig it was. And he amazingly signed us to Rise Above, and it was just the best time. We couldn't have asked for more, really. So.
Yeah. What it's interesting, because I was thinking about this today, knowing that we were going to have this talk. 95, 94, 95 was an interesting time in metal, because like grunge had just swept through, and new metal was beginning, right? Yeah. And then like you listen to Frequencies from Planet 10, and there's none of that's on there. It comes from a completely different place. It's its own thing, and when you put it in that context, it's to my ears quite unique for that time.
Sure. Yeah.
What were you listening to? Like, what are the ingredients that went into that?
Well, I loved grunge, but me personally, I was a huge grunge fan. I loved all that stuff, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. I mean, I still do. They're up there with my old 70s favorite bands. Grunge are the next thing I used to really get into. Never got into the new metal thing. That wasn't really my bag at all. Ben and Martin, at the time when we did Frequencies, they were very much, just before, they were very much into the death metal stuff, Sepultura. And Ben was a huge Pantera fan, but we all had this weird mutual love for Pink Floyd, those kind of bands, pop rock. I mean, we were all massive Rush fans, and I love early Genesis and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I think we were starting to get into Sabbath, and we didn't really want to fit in with anything that was around at the time. So we didn't want to be a new metal band. We just wanted to kind of play our things. So I think that album is a bit of a collective mix of all that weird influence rolled into one. But yeah, certainly, I guess by that time, the psychedelic-y Pink Floyd-y mixed with a bit of Sabbath, a bit of Zeppelin, kind of went into that album more than anything else. And also, we didn't know what we were doing in the studio, so we were like, "Hey, what does this sound? Oh, there's a keyboard.
Right.
Let's play that." We don't play keyboards, but we're going to put that on anyway. And we were like kids in a candy store.
Amazing. What? How long was the session? How long did
Oh
you spend?
God, I can't remember. We were there for it was a few weeks. We were
Right.
yeah, we stayed at the studio for a few weeks. Oh, my memory's just like shot to
Oh,
pieces.
but that, I mean, that in itself is plenty of time to play around with things and
Well,
just push
yeah, that's the
buttons and
thing.
dial knobs and
When we should have left stuff alone. It's like, oh, it's done. It's like, yeah, but what about this? Yeah, this sounds cool. And yeah, this. So yeah, we had a lot of fun making that album. We were, like I say, we were kids really. We had no idea what we were doing, and we were just trying stuff out. I'm
yeah.
still super proud of the album, but you listen back
Oh
on.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to be fair, that's probably in the spirit of like how, Pink Floyd created their music in the early days.
Sure,
It was just experimenting with stuff,
let's
right?
try this. Yeah.
Um, at that point in when you just got together, the first album's coming out, all that kind of thing. What point was there a decision made that you're like, right, we've got something? Are we going to take this seriously, or are we just going to, be a pub band? Was that kind of like we can actually do something here. We can go on. We can potentially have a bit of a bit of a.
Yeah,
In the 90s, that was still possible, wasn't it? These days, it feels like an
absolutely.
battle. But
Yeah, we did. I think once we'd got that signing from Lee and we realized, oh my goodness, people like us, and
yeah,
we stopped being just drunk idiots and taking this for granted again. It did become like, wow, we can actually not make a living. I remember doing that first album and just thinking, can you imagine if we got to do one more album, just
Right.
like one more after I've got this thing in my hand. And so it was always just the next step. Let's see if we can make a better album than the one we've just done. And so yeah, we did take ourselves seriously, although it probably didn't look like that at the time because it was just we were having the time of our lives, and we were kind of we all lived together at the time. We lived in a house called Goblin Towers in Greenford.
Oh, of course. There you go.
Yeah, and we all worked at the same place. We worked at the same little warehouse, so we were living in each other. It was the young ones. We were living in each other's.
Right.
We had no money at all, and we had this album out, and yeah, we just thought, well, this is a little breakthrough here. We could do something with this, so
Yeah.
let's not fuck it up.
Right. I mean,
Let's keep it going.
that time when you're all living together, just as you've said, how much of that time did you spend like playing? Like, would you be playing in the house, or did you have sessions elsewhere?
A bit of both, a bit of everything actually, because we was getting a lot of gigs at the time as well. I mean, there were little pubs, Swan and Bottle in Uxbridge, and just like little tiny places. But we were starting to get a bit of a scene and a bit of a name for ourselves, and it was super exciting. We lived and breathed heavy metal at the time. It was just we'd come in from work and we'd stick on Sabbath or Judas Priest or whatever. There was music constantly going on, and we were 20-year-old kids or 20-year-old young adults.
Mm.
Um, and it was exciting. So yeah, we would sit around of an evening, and I remember me and Chris sitting in a front room and writing Quincy the Pig Boy on acoustic guitars
Right.
in the front room. Yeah, just so it was great. We'd go from bedroom to bedroom saying, "Have you heard this album? This is a band called Sleep." I remember Martin getting
Okay.
the
Right.
first. I remember him getting the Sleep album just because he liked the cover. And
Yeah.
going, "Oh, I thought
Yeah.
this cover looked cool," and then he goes, "You've got to listen to this," and So yeah, we lived and breathed it at the time. It was all we really did. We didn't think about anything else. It was just band music, rock. It's fun.
I think there's a lot to be said. I think those bands that really kind of lock in and establish themselves early on. Often you hear those stories where it's they're living together, they're spending time together.
Yeah,
It's just that it really is just kind of learning how to kind of move and groove with each other.
sure. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. It was, and we didn't have too many fights. I mean, I can't fight Ben. I'm 5'6". He's 6'5". But so yeah, I think we just got on well. We've always just been good friends. We still are great friends, and I think that's what's kind of kept us going as long as we.
Yeah, yeah. And so when did that come to an end? Like, you obviously at some point you must have made the decision to kind of you know, move on with your own sort of, you know, your own space a little bit?
Oh, when we moved out of
Yeah,
Goblin's Hours,
yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
just yeah, you know, like all good things come to an end, don't they? It was
Right.
whatever. I can't remember the reasons, but yeah, we all got girlfriends and moved to different places, and just yeah, it just we just. I mean, we didn't move that far from each other at the time. We were still very much local, unlike now. But
Mm, mm,
yeah, it's just yeah, we just
nice.
gradually started. We probably got sick of each other, to be honest. It's like we were with each other on tour all the time. We work together. Let's have a little bit of a bit of breathing
Like a
space.
four-way marriage, isn't it? I suppose it's just
Yeah,
gonna get sick of
yeah,
each other, you know.
pretty much. Yeah,
So my stepping on point with you guys was the Big Black. So at that point, it seemed like your profile kind of jumped right up around about then, and you started,
sure.
really regularly appearing Kerrang and Metal Hammer and things like
Yeah,
that. Was that a turning point for you guys as well? Did that seem like you were making a sort of a step up from there?
yeah. I think every album we've done since that first album has got like a different, almost like a different story, and
Yeah.
it feels
Mm,
like a different. We entered a different phase. So yeah, I
mm.
mean, the Big Black was just chaos, to be honest. Billy Anderson came over and did the album for us, and it was just he did such a phenomenal job, and he's such a I don't know if you know Billy Anderson at all, but he's my goodness, he's like one of the best producers for that kind of that noise,
Yeah.
lovely noise. But recording that album, I think that was we'd done a few tours. We had a few tours under our belts by then, um, and it was everything just seemed to be going right all the time, and
Right.
we were just having a really fun time. And you're right, we had a lot of the press were we. That's when I think that's when we become known as like the pub rock bands
Yeah.
because we had
Okay.
kind of this image of just being these drunk louts that got up and just played and got off and had a good time, which was true to an extent, but we were still very much kind of trying to be as professional as we could
Well, yeah.
behind all the smoke and booze and all that stuff. So yeah, we Big Black was a bit of a turning point for us, I think. Yeah.
If you can't, you've got to enjoy it, haven't you? I mean, if you look back and you think 25, 30 years ago and you think, oh yeah, we were sensible, we did everything right and that, but you wouldn't have the same memories. You've got to be able to enjoy yourself, haven't you? You know what I
I
mean?
think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the key. It's just enjoying ourselves. We've always thought if we're not still having a good time, we're going to call it a day and
Yeah.
Yeah.
get off with
I
it.
mean, I'd say that's a huge appeal, you know, on I think all the records you've done. There's an energy to it that really kind of captures that vibe. You know, there's nothing about the music that's stagnant or sounds,
Thank you.
try it sounds like you're having a
Yeah.
good time, and it
Sure.
sounds like the soundtrack to a good time. And I think that's why you've appealed to so many people.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the goal. So yeah, I think I think it's one of those things. If you're not having a good time, it probably comes across to other people. That goes, in life as well. If you can sometimes tell if someone's pretending to be nice or to have a nice time. You can sort of see through. And I think we all the way we record albums and tracks is we do it for. I know this is an old cliche. A lot of people's bands say this, but we do it for ourselves. It's always like we're doing what we want to do, and people will come along for the ride or they won't. So that we've got a lot of different tracks on our albums. We've got southern rock sounding tracks. We've got
yeah, yeah,
proggish things going on, a lot of punky stuff. It is like I think the rule was there are no rules when we write. We just kind of go in there and hammer out whatever's
yeah.
coming out.
Did you ever experience any pressure to not do it that way? Like, I suppose as a band gets more successful, more people might have a bit more or try and have a bit more an influence on the sounds, particularly when money's involved and things like that.
Yeah.
Anyone try and steer you in?
No, I think we got lucky. I don't ever remember thinking, they want us to do this, or this record company have said that we've got to wear trousers on stage or wear ties or whatever, or change the sound. We've had people come in before say, "Oh, I don't know if I like that bit," but we've just gone, "Well, that's that bit, and it's staying
Right.
because we like it." So no, we've never really. I don't think we've ever had that kind of pressure with anyone
You
stepping on our toes.
you were sort of tagged as a stoner band, wasn't you, in the early?
Yeah,
You know, did that bother you? Because I remember reading a few interviews like we're not just a stoner band, we're a metal band. We are fucking headbang
Yeah,
heavy metal
it's
band. You know?
sure. It's we I think I mean, looking back now, you're right. We went for a stage where we're not a stoner band. We're just a rock band. We're a heavy
Yeah,
rock band, and I
Right.
hate getting labelled. But actually, I think that kind of helped us in the back in the day because we came out with all those stoner bands,
yeah.
and we got we were in that wave.
Mhm.
So actually, in retrospect, it probably helped us to be in a genre. Even though I kind of hate being labelled as something, now I'm looking back thinking they actually weren't too bad. Stoner bands are cool. I love a lot of stoner bands. I think we grew up listening to Sabbath, as did lots and lots of stoner bands. So to be
Yeah. Yeah.
we came around when that stoner scene came around. So to say now, oh, we're not a stoner band, we're not, but it probably helped us to kind of I don't know to get to where we are. I suppose.
Yeah, it was a. I look back on that era quite fondly. You know, we both of us big fans of Fu Manchu, big fans
Yeah.
of Thomas, and all those bands that were, you know, really sort of coming through. I mean, I first saw Fu Manchu in '98, I think it was, and they
Wow.
just fucking absolutely destroyed my ears. I'd
Yeah.
never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, you're right. To be in with that, yeah, I guess it wouldn't do you any harm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you only have to look at like the lineup of a festival like Desert Fest, let's say. I mean, the
Yeah,
variety, really, when you look into that as a genre, all those influences that you've talked about, country rock, heavy metal, punk, stuff like that,
yeah,
really, it's all in the DNA, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter what you call us. It's fine. It's a load of blokes or a load of women or a load of whoever having a good time playing music,
yeah.
whether it's and if you want to call it stoner rock or new metal or country or whatever you like, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we're all just playing rock music at the end of the day.
Rock and
So
roll. Let's talk about the live shows a little bit because I remember the first time. I think the first time I saw you, I can't remember whether it was with Therapy or whether it was with Monster Magnet. It was around about that kind of era, very very early 2000s.
2000s, yeah,
Yeah, and you know, your reputation as a live band was huge. You obviously got Ben Ward, who's a larger than life character.
yeah.
You know, you got any sort of specific memories that really stand out from those early days of touring? What you can particularly remember, favorite shows and things like that, favorite bands you played with?
It was just, I mean, the Monster Magnet. I think was it the Astoria? Where
The
did we play?
Astoria,
It
yeah.
was the Astoria, wasn't it? Yeah. Again, just we're all still pinching ourselves that we've
Mhm.
done this for this one. So being Monster Magnet were like from the beginning a huge influence on us, like
Yeah.
absolutely like enormous. To be able to play with them and see Dave Windorf on stage at those shows and just kind of go, wow, we're playing with these guys. It's just no specific one memory, but just the experience, having the experience to go up and be able to play to their crowd and see how they work and what they do backstage and and
Right.
and they're all just lovely, nice people. At the end of the day, you kind of get hear these stories about crazy rock stars like Dave Windorf and other people, and yeah, they're cool and they look cool as hell, but they're just normal ordinary blokes like me and you, really. At the
Oh,
end of
you spoiled the illusion now. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
Dave
it. The
Whitlock
first.
I mean, no, it's
said
not true.
96
Yeah, I
foot.
went backstage and he was with a load of girls and it was crazy and he was
That's better.
throwing TVs out the window. Yeah,
To be fair, that he was the archetypal showman, Dave Windorf. I
yeah,
adore Monster Magnet, and back then he was a proper bona fide rock star.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Mm, mm, mm.
fantastic.
Great days, great days. Um, but yeah, I suppose going on forward from there, you released Coupe de Grace, which was a bit of a shift in sound, then, wasn't it?
Sure.
These influences you talk about, like punk and things like that, started to come through a little bit more on
Yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, we wanted to, and we had Scott Reeder come over and do that for us, which was again another like, wow, this
Yeah.
blind,
Yeah.
it's like another huge.
Did that idea come from you? Were you like, he's the guy we want to bring in, or were people
Yeah, we asked him
suggesting
if he'd be
options?
up for it, and he was, he said yes. okay, great, blimey,
Right.
Scott Reeder from Caius is going to come there. So yeah, and he came over. Again, we spent 3 weeks in the studio. And we just, again, we were drinking quite a lot at that time as well. We, that fun kind of element was still very much in the recording process. We probably, looking back, could have taken it a little bit more seriously doing it. I feel a bit sorry for Scott. He had a good time, but
Right.
we were just like,
Right.
yeah, look how much we can drink, and
Was
and
it?
we've got
Yeah.
to do. And we can do this album as well in the meantime. And then, of course, John Garcia came over and did the 2 tracks, so it was a complete dream come true. But yeah, you're right. We had a bit of a shift where we were trying to be a bit rawer, get more of a kind of a punky kind of in the studio, live sound, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun times.
Yeah. It comes across,
Yes.
Yeah.
Just going forward a little bit, 2004. So Pete left in 2004. That's around about the right
What's that, sorry?
Pete left in about 2004. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a big turning point for you
Because
guys,
you carried on as a 4-piece. So what was the sort of decision behind that rather than getting in a replacement?
I think we played a show after Pete left, with the idea of we'll get another guitar player in.
Yeah.
And it just works. I don't know. It gave Martin a lot more freedom on the bass to kind of, play around in between my solos and riffs. And I don't know. It just kind of, we thought, well, we'll do a couple more shows and see how it goes. And it just for us anyway, it seemed to work. It gave me and Martin. We know we miss Pete terribly, but it gave us a bit more freedom to kind of interact a little bit more with each other. And we were always into those bands like Cream and the Jimi Hendrix Experience and bands that just have bass, guitar, drums, and obviously we've got Ben as the vocalist as well. But as the instruments, it felt right to just have that. It almost felt heavier because Martin's bass, he's suddenly got this big bass sound because he had to, because Pete wasn't there anymore. And I don't, I'm not known for having a big York or Matt Pike kind of guitar sound. I stick to the classic rock sort of sound, Marshalls, through a Marshall. So yeah, I think Martin thought, right, I've got to turn this up and turn that up and get a pedal that boosts.
Yeah, it just reminded me. I think a few years ago now, I saw Martin doing like one of those rig rundowns, like on YouTube, and he's talking about he's got a big tone. That lad, big tone, yeah.
And he kept breaking the bloody things every time we played live. For years, he'd get the sound that he wanted, and we'd play a couple of songs, and 9 times out of 10, something would just go.
There you go, big tone, but clearly the wrong tone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you go for a period of like trying other people out? Did you audition anyone else? Did you consider anyone?
We didn't even do that. No, I mean, what you got to remember is all the way through our career, apart from when we did Eulogy in about 2012, 13, then we did it full time, the band full time. But before that, we had young kids, families, jobs. We had 9 to 5 jobs. We were doing this. We've always done this.
Yeah.
As on the side, if you like. So it was working, and we didn't have a lot of time. So it was, we'd have a gig it was normally what happens around those times, and still now actually, which is probably why we're calling it a day, is we have busy weekdays, Monday to Fridays, and then weekends we'd fly off somewhere. We've been doing that for 30 years. Weekends we fly off and do a show somewhere in Europe, or we do a little tour, take some time off work, and it's just been that continuously. So we probably didn't have time to have anybody come in and try out as a second guitar player.
Right.
So yeah, we just had too much going on all the time.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. I was just going to say it makes a lot of sense that you just got to kind of keep everything rolling along. If the gigs are coming in, you just carry on. Yeah.
We never stopped gigging. We've just continuously, when we've had the time, we've had to fit it into, because we love it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm sure though that just listening to that sounds like there's a lot of pressure, for all of you, having to maintain a job and then leave your families or whatever other interests you've got going on in life every weekend to go and play. It, you know, to me, I suppose it's a throwback to what you were talking about right at the top of the episode when it's like, actually, that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very lucky. I've got a very kind of understanding wife and kids, and there's we've all got girlfriends and wives and people that just kind of get it. And there's been times where I've said, "Oh, maybe I love the band, but I can't fit everything in." And she's, you've got to do this because you're
Right.
never going to get a chance like this to do it. And people are buying your albums and coming to see your shows, so silly not to. So yeah, it's a weird kind of dynamic where you're juggling everything. You're juggling the band and personal life, and you love all of it. So it's hard to find the balance. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
This is all the stuff that we as music fans don't see it. You don't get
Yeah.
all that. You're being pulled from pillar to post, and it can't be easy. So I suppose when in 2006 when you signed with Sanctuary, you're effectively
yeah,
a major label then, aren't you?
Hmm.
Really,
yeah. That's
for want of a better term. So that must have felt like do we really have to take this serious? Is that when you started thinking about going full time at some point? Did it cross your mind then?
yeah. Once we'd done Eulogy took off. Eulogy for the
Nice.
Damned took off, and became quite, one of our biggest album, I guess, really. And that's when we got these huge offers in and tours,
Yeah.
and we went off to. Sorry, I got this. This is Gino. It's just jumped up. I've
Always
got a house
welcome
full
a
of
dog. Always.
humans and cats and dogs. I'll just put them down for a minute.
There you go.
Yeah, Eulogy came out, and God, I think that year we went to America, did a 7-week tour of America. We toured around Europe for
Mm.
weeks. We did the Soundwave Festival, then went back to America, and it was brilliant. And it was like, again, it's like a dream come true. And then after a while, especially when you've got little kids at home and things,
Yeah.
starts to become, you're not enjoying doing the music anymore or the shows because it
Okay.
becomes a bit of a chore because you're doing it every night, every night, every night, every night, every night. I don't know how bands like Clutch continuously do this and seem to love it, but for us, I think after doing it full time for a couple of years, it's just like, this isn't actually that fun anymore. We like playing, we like
Yeah.
um, writing and doing all that, and if that, like I said before, if it becomes not fun, you got to kind of go, okay, we need to kind of find what's going on here and
Yeah. Yeah.
figure it out.
And I guess difficult to find people that can relate to that as well, because we all look at we're looking at everyone as rock stars up there on stages living the perfect life.
Yeah,
It's like, who do you share that with when it's like, actually it's not it's not all that.
yeah, yeah, and also, yeah, I don't want to make it sound that terrible. It's incredible. The other side of it is you are there playing these incredible places. You're in LA one day, and then you're playing in like Soundwave Festival. We toured with Metallica and a bunch of other bands that we completely have always loved.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, it was a dream. I was in a lift with Neil Young at one stage, like going down in the hotel, and you're like, what am I doing here? So it is brilliant, but yeah, and then you kind of really, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one to explain. It is.
Well,
It's
that,
a kind
yeah.
of, you feel
Yeah.
guilty for having a great time with your mates, playing these great shows and doing something you love. When you get in a call saying, "Oh yeah, a 3-year-old's not very well at home, and I'm not going to see him for 9 weeks." So,
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. That's a
sorry,
heartbreaker.
I'm making this sound really morbid, isn't it? It's join a band,
Well, no,
guys.
do you know what? I think it's good because it's all understanding, it's kind of
Yeah,
lifting the veil a little bit. And I think it does give context to, why you guys have sort of come to the decision that you've come to,
yeah,
ultimately to say, we had a fucking great run.
yeah,
But it's not without its challenges.
yeah. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's just it's not all roses. It's a lot. There's a lot of roses out there, but there's a lot of dead flowers underneath as well. That you have
Right.
to kind of sweep away.
Were there any points, through your history where you thought about calling it quits back then? And then you just thought we've done enough now?
Yeah, I think there's been times where we've come off a big tour, especially around that time where it was pretty grueling, and we said, right, that's it. Once we've done this tour, no more. We can't do this anymore. It's just too much. Because a lot of time we'd be traveling in a little van,
Yeah.
following whoever we were supporting that were in a big huge tour bus, and we'd be sitting there like. But then what would happen is we'd get offered something else, and we go, well, we
Right.
can't turn that down. That's
Yeah.
we've been offered to do Ozfest or something, and they're going to fly us out to do Ozfest or whatever it is, it's like, well, and also what happens is when you get back off tour, you have a couple of weeks at home and you start really missing it.
Yeah.
So you get that weird thing, oh, I'm glad to be home. God, that was hard. And then you start twiddling your fingers, like, oh, okay, I wouldn't mind being back. I want to be back in a really smelly little backstage area that's got no lights, and you miss it.
You're a true road warrior, That's what it is. It's like,
you miss the smell of rotten beer and sticky floors and things. You do. It's a weird thing. You get back to like a nice, clean house, and you go, "Oh, this is too clean."
yeah.
As long as you don't start pissing all over your own carpets and things like that, then I suppose it's all right. But
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, inviting the locals in, just make a mess, just scruff it up a little bit.
Can you spill some beer over that nice white wall, please? Yeah.
That's it. Just so I can feel at home.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So the decision to effectively make this your kind of last run out, is that a little bit easier knowing that there's the end in sight?
I think so. I think it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we're playing at Desert Fest tomorrow. I don't know when this is coming out, but we're in Belgium Desert Fest tomorrow. Then we've got a couple of gigs in Europe. Then it's the 7 dates on the tour, and then that's it. 17th of December at the Forum, and that's the last one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what comes after that. Really, we've all got different plans to do like music in different forms. Or I'm not sure about Ben, but me and Chris and Harry, so I've got ideas.
Have you got? Is that thoughts of doing stuff together, or you all got your own ideas that you want to?
We've certainly spoken about it. Yeah, we certainly had a word and say we should get together and do this because we've still got ideas flowing. We still got ideas. We've probably got another album's worth of ideas and bits. So yeah, who knows? Like I say, we're all still good mates. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of exciting to think. Right, I've got an empty canvas here. We can all start painting our empty canvases, see what happens in the future. So
I guess if you're taking the Orange Goblin name away from that, it gives you a whole different kind of freedom, doesn't it? You want to try different things, and you can kind of do what you like. So you can do Jazz Odyssey if you want.
I probably will. Yeah,
that's it. Well, it does. It just goes back to that time, doesn't it? Like you describe being kids and just pushing buttons and seeing what does that do? What does that do? The freedom is there to do that all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's exactly that. It's going to be like starting over again, I guess, in a way. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I know I'm going to miss this. It's going to be a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. Have you got plans to sort of mark the occasion, between the four of you, like as friends, in acknowledgement that you've gone on this journey together? Have you talked about how you want to sort of mark that between yourselves?
Not really. No, I think we're going to have a little. I'm sure we'll meet up after we've done the last show, and what we've spoken about doing is pretending we're going to do a show, let's say in Austria. So we'll pack up, get everything, bring our guitars and whatever we normally bring, but actually just go to a hotel for 3 days and just,
a spa weekend, an Orange Goblin
spa weekend. We're gonna have a spa weekend.
Imagine that. There you go.
We might do that.
What can people expect from the tour then? Have you got anything specific that you want to do? Because obviously you've got a big old back catalogue to pick from, and people are going to want to hear certain songs, and you can never please everyone. So obviously you don't want to give any sort of secrets, but
really, we thought about getting people up and getting this person and doing this, but at the moment, I think we just want to go out and just do a show that we would normally do. We haven't got any secrets really planned. We just want to go up there and rock out. Ben's put a post on Facebook. What songs you want to hear? We're getting together
Yeah.
you know, a chart of what's most popular, so we can go through that. And
Any surprises in that? You know, that you like people are asking for songs that you're like, well, I'm surprised they're asking for that.
oh gosh, well, no one asked for Red Tide Rising, which I was surprised about
Really?
because that's.
Right.
But
Wow.
I guess because we play that all the time
Maybe,
anyway.
yeah, maybe that's a given.
It's a
Well,
given.
you know what to do. Not play it. There you go.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I,
that'll teach you.
I tell you, the song that comes up a lot is a song called "Heavy Lies the Crown," which
Right.
we very rarely, and I love that song. You know, it's and there's a lot of songs that we've got that are really hard to play because normally me in the past doing that thing again, like what does this do, and what about if I did this?
Yeah.
And normally Chris or someone will say, "How are you going to play that live, mate?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, but it's really fun because I've got the harmony here and I've done this." So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of songs. Another one is "Beginner's Guide to Suicide." It's a big, long, kind of epic bluesy song that people just always want to hear. And it's just too hard. It's got harmonica on it, and it's got steel slide and stuff like
Mm.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can pull
Yeah,
something out.
I just give a shout out to that actually because I mean we did a review of Science Not Fiction just after it was released here, and I think one of the things that really kind of captured all of us about that album was just the level of creativity, the musical creativity that went into that. You know, yourself as a guitar player, there are layers, there are like you just talked about
Yeah,
harmonies and different
yeah,
sounds, and you know, this isn't just kind of plug it in and play. You know, almost like in contrast to your kind of live set, which is just raucous, like
sure.
bosh, out we go, Motorhead, here we are, sort of thing. The albums, there really is a lot going into that. You know, there's a lot of musicality, there's a lot of
Sure.
sort of blending textures and all sorts of things there. And I just thought, you know, it's worth giving a shout out to that because,
Thank you.
you know, as a creative force, I think you really, really, really had something together.
Thank you. Yeah, we that I think this out Science was probably the only album that we've. I mean, I never used to ever write guitar solos, and but for this album, I did, and we were doing it in weekend dispatches. So I can't remember how many weekends, but we'd have the weekdays to go back and listen to what we'd done that weekend.
Mm.
And so that, yeah, I would for one go home and think, well, I can do that. And I didn't think actually, what about if I do? Yeah, so yeah, that creative kind of thing came out. But funnily enough, writing that album, it took 5 years from Wolf Bites Back to do
Right.
science fiction. And we were doing a lot of shows in those 5 years, and life and stuff got in the way. But I think we had this deadline. Peaceville, poor old Peaceville, just signed us. Kept saying, "Have you got the album ready yet?" Not yet. We're working on it.
Yeah.
And then going in the studio, and obviously Martin had left, and we had COVID and all sorts of stuff happened
Oh,
in
right. Yeah, of
between.
course.
I think we had suddenly had this deadline that we had to hit, and we didn't have hardly any songs at all. And then Harry joined, so he was, you know, we were
Mm.
playing shows with him and teaching him the old stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, we've got to do an album, and it's, you know, so in a very short period of time, we kind of got together, and we had these awkward moments. It's like, what are we going to do? I've got this riff, and I've got this idea, and it wasn't gelling for a while. And then all of a sudden, it just did. It just, you know,
Mm.
everything came together. I think we had a couple of songs, and that kind of led the way. I don't know, it opened the creativity in
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
this, and then yeah, we just jumped on it. Ben had been sober for a couple of years, I think, by then, or a year or so, and he was the most together. Normally, Ben would used to write his lyrics. Sometimes we'd record an instrumental album. And
Right.
we God, I can't remember what album it was. Maybe it was Back from the Abyss, I think. But yeah, we wrote the album and recorded the album, and Ben hadn't written anything. And then and it was weird because then he'd come in, he said, "I've got this, I've done it now," and he'd sing these over these instrumentals that we'd written, and it would just change the dynamic of the song completely. Like, what? I didn't expect that. And
Wow. Yeah.
but yeah, but for Science, he was super organised. He'd written all the lyrics, all the ideas. We really gelled. It was such a
Mm.
creative time. Once
Yeah.
we had that deadline, and like, well, we've got to do this, and it wasn't a chore. It started off a bit like, but then we, like you say, we just tried to put as much different stuff in and a few layers and weird things that we wouldn't have done before. We've tried to challenge ourselves and really push it as professionally as we could.
It comes across, it might be a bit of a weird thing to say when you're talking about Orange Goblin, but there's a sophistication to that record that I really, really enjoy.
Thank you.
In the production and the performance.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was listening to a hell of a lot of Rush at the time.
Oh, well, there you go.
I was trying my best. I can't do that, but I'm going to try and get nearly sort of onto that first step of there. Yeah, but yeah, it was, and we were all just really hungry to make something very, very special. And I think it paid off.
Yeah, we loved it. I mean, we kind of in a weird way mentioned Harry at the start of the episode. So Harry comes in, Harry from Hangnail, and most of us have only ever known him as. I'm assuming that was just kind of a natural thing, because you obviously go back years. Did he just kind of slot in?
Yeah, well, Martin gave us a 2-year. He said 2 years before he left.
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Again, we're all best friends, and I think we'd done the Wolf Bites Back, and I think around that time, the tours we were doing, he just said, "Guys, we got all this planned for the next 2 years. I'm going in 2 years. Once these shows are done, I'm going, and you need to get Harry in."
Right.
Yeah, and he said, "You're not allowed to." He sat us down. We had a pub meeting after we'd done these shows, and we'd realised he wants to leave, and he planned it all out. Martin pretty much planned it. He says, "You're not splitting up," because we always said if any one of us leaves, that's it. That's the end of the band. We're not doing it anymore. And Martin said, "That's not going to happen. You've got to carry on,
right? And
you have to get Harry in. You have to at least try and get Harry in." And we had a list of bass players that we were going to try out, and we called him, and being lovely Harry, he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." He probably regrets it now. We've taken his soul for 5 years, but but he fit. We go back from the beginning. So he fitted like a glove.
Yeah, it made total sense.
What was Martin's reaction to the news then? The eventual news that you were going to hang it up?
I haven't spoken to Martin about it actually, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to call him and ask him. I'm sure Martin's so laid back with everything. He's probably like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Don't blame you. That's why I left. Yeah. So I think Martin just takes everything with a pinch of salt. So he's probably, he'll be there at the show.
I mean, he'll understand it all more than most, won't he?
Yeah, he's probably thinking, "What took you so long?" Yeah. Keep going. But yeah, he left for the same reasons. He just, I think he hadn't had any holidays from his job since we started, because all his holidays were taken up doing shows. So I think that's what got to him in the end. Yeah,
I think the fact that you've been around for as long as you have, and you've essentially stuck to the same lineup. I know you lost Pete, but you didn't bring anybody else in, and it was all that time that you've kept that same core of a lineup together. That is such a rarity.
Yeah,
that says it a lot about your chemistry, your friendship, all of that. And like I said, that's always come through the music. So it all makes total sense from the outside.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, I think that's the key element. Is we were always just mates, and just got swept up in this wave of Orange Goblin. And it seems silly to ever get off it until now.
We can all see it coming whenever we're watching a band, and you know whether they've got chemistry as people or not. If they're just up there going through the motions, you know it, don't you? It just looks like they're just not involved. But when bands are tight knit, you can just tell.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can tell if you can tell if someone's having a good time.
Yeah,
and we have had a good time. We're still having a great time. So it's going to be a big party at the end.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. No doubt. A few tears, I would imagine.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you look back on any of it and think you could have done anything differently?
I look back at every day and think I could have done something different. So there's always, I listen to albums and I think I could have done that better. I could have played that better. I could have done something else there. I look at things we've done and tours and the experiences we've had and thought, maybe we shouldn't have done that, but not much. It's in general, it's just been it's been fun. You know, I can't really find another word apart from the traveling. Everything else has been like a dream. It has been like 30 years of living a dream and doing something you love doing with your mates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't complain. And people, people have come to see us and they've stuck by us all these years. So you know, that's to me is like the biggest reward is people have kept with us and allowed us to do it for as long as we've been doing it.
I'm assuming you never thought back in '95 you'd be sitting here in 2025 talking to a couple of idiots about the band you've been in for the last 30 years. So,
Well, I'm still not talking to a couple of idiots, but but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I thought like I said before, we did the first album, and I just remember thinking, God, I hope we get to do at least just one more album after this first one. That'd be just if we could do 2 albums, that'd be brilliant before we split up. But to be in 30 years later, grey and still doing it, 10 albums later is I'm pretty proud of us all for that.
fucking right.
Good. Yeah.
Let's just quickly talk about the UK leg of the tour. The majority of people watching this are in the UK, so
Sure.
I don't want to put you on the spot if you remember, but the dates where you're playing and all that, and obviously you're taking out Grand Magus and Ern, which is a fucking great support lineup as well. So
yeah,
where are you going and when is it?
Right. Okay. So we're starting on the 10th of December in. All right. Okay. I'm going to cheat because I have got my.
Go on, it's fine. You could do that.
Before I do that, I'm going to see if I can remember. Right. So 10th, we're in. I don't know. It's definitely Scotland. The 11th, we're. Okay. 2 seconds. Let's have a look. Shows. Right, Glasgow Garage, which we've played many times on the 10th of December. That's the first show, so that's going to be fantastic because it's always fun there. Then we're playing the Button Factory in Dublin on the 11th.
Right.
And then KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton on the 12th, which we've played many times. It's a fantastic venue, that one. 13th is Manchester Academy 2, which these are places we love and played lots and lots of times.
No doubt.
Electric Bristol in Bristol on the 14th, the 1865 in Southampton on the 16th, and then the last show is at the Forum Kentish Town in London on the 17th of December, and then that's it. So who knows?
Wow. Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And like you just said, Grand Magus from some of the first. I can't remember this first. So one of the first tours we ever did was with Grand Magus back in the day, and we've done a couple of tours with them around Europe, and they're just the best.
Yeah, awesome band.
Swedish classic rock.
Yeah,
no nonsense band, and Ern are just phenomenal. A younger band. They've been going a couple of years, but my goodness, we toured with them in 2021, I think, and they're just phenomenal band. 3-piece. They're just. Are they a 3-piece anyway? I think they're
4-piece now.
They've just expanded
a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
The 4-piece, and they sounded huge.
They're incredible. They're just so good. I can't wait to see both those bands. I'm really excited about that as well. So, so it should be a hell of a send off.
No doubt.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, you're a band that we go back with many years, and I when I look back to being sort of 19, 20 years old back then, sitting here now 25 years later talking to you is really fucking cool.
Oh, thank you, mate. It's awesome to talk to you both as well.
No, it's been a lot of fun.
Cheers.
And hopefully the remainder of the tour, everything goes well and you enjoy it, and you can just sail off into the sunset then, and just
it's time to buy that yacht.
Join my ABBA tribute band. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah, do a version of ABBA. You can.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the chart. Well, it's all off the chart. Nothing's. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
All right. So if you go into the Orange Goblin tour, obviously, it's going to be an absolute belt. I'm assuming tickets are going to be selling pretty well. So if you haven't got a ticket and you want to go, out there and get tickets from all the usual outlets, wherever possible. Try and avoid Ticketmaster. Go to see tickets and
absolutely,
and all those. But get tickets, get involved, and have a good one. Hey Joe, thank you very much. Bean, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will see everybody probably in a week. Stay metal. Cheers.
Take care. Thank you. Take care. Bye.